Hey everyone, Tim Paul from Toolpath here with another Geek Tips video. I thought this week was time to show off a little bit of Toolpath. So we're going to get into taking something from Toolpath over to Fusion and adding some work holding. So the work holding is the real interesting part that we haven't talked about yet. My buddy Justin's working on some really cool work holding workflows that'll be more integrated with Toolpath. My buddy Ben, he's already made tons and tons of great Toolpath content. If you want to learn how to use Toolpath, how to leverage it, adopt it, all that stuff, Ben has some really good Learn Toolpath in 30 minutes content. Go check that out. Beyond that, make sure to like, subscribe, hit the notifications button. Give us any comments that you want. What's working, what's not working. If you like tonight's content, blame Ben. If you don't like it, blame Ben. He found in some comments that people were looking for this. He poked me to do it, so it's all his fault. Let's get to work. All right, time to get to work. So I made this happy little part. You can tell it's happy because it's happy on both sides. So I exported this out as a step, or you can send it with your Toolpath plugin or add-in. You can send a Toolpath as well. I'm sure Ben will put a link to, we have a blog about the add-in and a link to where you can go get that. So once you're there, you're going to go over to Toolpath. Well, you can see what I'm surfing on the internet. And open up your part. We have 100% machinability, and let's take a look at it. So setups, you have your first setup, your second setup. Now the arrow's kind of showing you first setup is this side, second setup is that side. Tools just tells you the different tools you're going to use. We're going to use 5 here, so 2-inch. Why not? There's way better content. Ben makes better content than me on Toolpath, so go check that out. Hopefully Ben can give you some links down in the Learn Toolpath in 30 minutes. He does really good content. Go check that out. So I'll actually skip all this stuff. This is good. It's telling you how it's going to machine it in the strategy section. And the estimate section, it's saying we'll have about 5 minutes of machine time. We'll have a little under $5 in material. The setup and other might seem expensive for this simple part, but this is my my estimate preset. I generally don't like to do much for under 250 bucks, so that's kind of my starter price. And then I do $100 per setup, so that adds up pretty quick, right? But the nice thing here is I can kind of see how much each feature costs, and there's no feature that stands out as like, whoa, that's super expensive. So from the export to Fusion, which is still in beta mode, but we'll give everybody access to it, you can copy to clipboard. So you can also get access to that with your free trial, so go do that. Come back to Fusion, go to Toolpath, import program. I just do a Control V here, or Command V, hit OK. And then that opens up pretty quick. Some people do get hung up here because they're waiting for their browser to fill up, but you have to just expand that little caret. Activate this first one. So this is going to be our first operation. If I expand that, it has face mill, finish, so on and so on. So it's still calculating that adaptive. We'll get back to micromanaging these a little bit later. But this is our first operation, and now we want to come in and add some vices to it. So let's go over to design. Let's take a look at the vise we're going to use. So it's just a Haas Kurt vise, go USA. And I pre-assembled this. If you're interested, leave some comments on how I assemble vices. A lot of people ask, like, why would I use a vise for a 3-axis setup? Well, if it's easy, it's nice to have. So this is part of making it easy. And then also, if you dig into some really good content about the container method, and if you're doing multi-axis, this is kind of a requirement. My buddy Justin's working on some really cool Toolpath work holding workflows. But this is kind of the foundation. So if you're interested in learning how to put your vices together in a smart way, let me know and I can make some videos. There's more than one way to do it. My buddy Phil, Meshin or something, nobody knows how to say his name, but he's super smart dude. Did an AU class in San Diego this year for the container method. Make sure to check that out. Ben should definitely put some links to that. Rob Lockwood several years ago did another container method. They work together. Phil's is like the newest, coolest one, so definitely check that out. We've used it for inspiration at Toolpath to do some really cool stuff that we're working on. So real quick, just to show you here, I have a joint origin here. If you're going to put stock in the center of the vise, that's where you would kind of link it to. And then if you're going to put stock kind of at the edge of the voice, you would do it there. If I S on my keyboard, if you don't know about that, it's a shortcut for the design space that you're in or the manufacturing space. And then you can come here and hit search and add stuff like this, or just click on it, but you can also add it to your palette. I do change parameters. I've actually forgotten where they live up above there. But the cool thing with this is I have two parameters that are basically driving everything here. One of them changes the jaw width, and then this one changes my joint origin height, representing my parallel height, right? So I'll just close this out and not save it. Okay, so how do we get that into this? So I already have it here. I would normally have that in a work holdings folder to reuse. But this is going to be in this orientation here. The happy face is smiling at you. On the pocket side, that's going to be our first stop. So we're going to come here. We're going to right click, insert into current design. Actually, we're going to do that here. Sorry. So I'm going to close this so I don't screw that up again. So I'm going to hit save here, and I'll say happy little part from Toolpath. So that's important. You want to save that, and then I also, you want to capture design history. You don't get access to those parameters without capturing your design history. It's important to know that. So capture design history, just anyway. Capture design history. So now when we insert into current design, first thing I do here is I get this sucker in the general orientation that I like. Say something like this. Now you could control that with your joints, but I just like to get it in the general orientation first. Hit OK. And then now if I go find my parameters, I don't have access to the parameters. So to do that, I need to break this link. Break the link. While we're here, you see that little boat anchor? That's unground to parent. Ground or unground to parent. It comes in kind of grounded automatically. So we're going to unground to parent so we can take this and move it. Now I want my stock to go to that point there. So I'll show you, I'll prove to you that I know what I'm talking about. If I go to change parameters, those are there. But I'm going to come up here, and Toolpath did a really good job of defining my optimized stock. I like to come right click on there and change my opacity so I can see how the stock is. And then the next thing we want to do is make a joint origin from this to here. Actually here. But see how the thing flops around all over? Hover over this space here, hit Command on your keyboard, and it'll just snap into place. Hit OK. So now we just got to move our jaw to this face. And we're going to do that by hitting S on our keyboard. Go to change parameters. And I forgot to measure that. I have bad memory. So I'm going to click this line down here in the corner. It says 3 inches. Hit S on my keyboard. Change parameters. Make that 3 inches. So our first stop is done. Okay, now I don't need my stock for the second op, and I don't need to see this for the second op. What I want is the thing to sit like this, and I'm actually going to set my vise to this edge, a hard jaw here. I'm going to take a 1, 2, 3 block and set this against the hard edge there, but I need a joint origin kind of at that convergent point because I don't have a point like this to click to. So it'll make sense in a second, so just follow along. I'm going to go to Assemble. Actually, to be honest, I hit S and I have that joint origin right there, but you also have it right here. Okay, I'm going to click really anywhere on this surface, to be honest. So I'm going to click here, and then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to drag this way out here, just way out where I don't want it, and I'm going to snap it to here. I'm dragging it way out there where I don't need it. I'm going to snap it to there. Now I have, that sucker is, it's right off of there and right off of there. Kind of rad, right? Hit OK. There we go. So now a point to snap to. Now, when I insert this big guy, insert into current something, drag that down, flip it, and what are we doing here? We're going to do this. Just like that. And let's drag it down like that. Okay, so that's the general orientation. Now I'm going to snap from this to this. Snap from here to here, hit OK. Now I just need to pull the vise forward. I don't remember that measurement, so I'm going to go to the Inspect Measure tool. Click here, click here. Now I'm dyslexic, I got a bad memory, all kinds of bad things. So I can come over here and just click this. So click to copy to clipboard. If I click this, 2.875, I'll probably remember that. Now, I forgot to break this link. So break that link. Now when I pull up the change parameters, I have two sets of parameters, and the second one I can hit Control V, enter. Nope. Enter. And we're in business. So we have a first op, a second op. I would hide this guy. You can also come out here. These joints annoy me, so I'd right click on it, hide. Right click on it, hide. So those are fighting me. I don't like it. Did something wrong. Okay. So those are hidden. And to be honest, I would do the same thing with this big guy right here. Okay. If I'm being honest, I would also name these first op, second op, but I'll spare you that. Let's close the data panel and get over to the machining side of things. So we'll make both of these. So that's the first op like that. Go over to machining or manufacturer. So this is cool. So we're going to right click on the setup and edit, or double click it. And then down here, we're going to go to fixture. We're going to select the fixture. And some people would click, 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 try to pick all this junk. We can do it from the browser. We know that first vise was there. And then the other thing is I want my origin to be this bottom left corner of the stock. So I'll do stock box point and pick that. My X is good, my Y, X, Z, Y, blah, blah, blah. I would do some other stuff here. I'd name this something, name this something, make this one, or one for G54, two for 55, whatnot. So, all right. So that got rid of the other vise because I don't know why that sucker's like lingering there, but because I have my sync settings down here at the bottom. Oh, they're off the screen. But I have all those turned on. So when I change my, let's start generating these. But so when I change my setup, the view settings change with it. So here we will edit. Oh, did I hide my own joint origin like a big dummy? That's annoying. Yeah, that joint origin right there I'm going to want, right? Because what I want is I want to put my work coordinate system there, right? And then I want to select my second, whatever that is, vise. I didn't talk about it on the first time, but the radial clearance and axial clearance, that's important. I set them to 50 radial, 10 axial. You can set them to whatever you want and save them as your default, but that's why they came in at those numbers. I think they're pretty big. I think they're almost 200 thou. Some foreign measurement. So I think we're good to hit OK. And we're probably ready to generate those too. So I think we're about 15 minutes in. This will probably be a record for how short my videos are. I seem to yap a lot. So yeah, let's dig into Toolpaths, because why not? So click on this. Let's look at the Toolpaths we have. Now it's just a matter of dialing in the Toolpaths, right? So we're still in beta mode, but let's see what we got. So I would change this step over a bit. That's honestly, that's just however the cut config was set up. I think I used, one of our shop cut configs or the default cut config. So there's nothing really wrong with that. That's the rough, that's the finish. Also not a sin here. I don't need this to go that low. I really just need it to go to this surface, right? Or past that surface. So let's just edit that. Everything else looked good to me though. I can do a bunch of stuff here. I literally just want this surface and I want it to go 10 thou below that surface. So I'll just hit OK. While that's calculating, let's look at everything else. So we got a run around the outside above our vise. That's good. We have, okay, this is fine. This is part of the reason it's still in beta is I don't need that whole section. I really just want this section. So I'll hit OK there. That's fine. One of the things I noticed up here is why don't I, in that same toolpath, just finish that? I'll finish the walls and the floor, actually. Yeah, this is something we're working through. I can just turn off stock to leave, finish the walls, finish the floor, do everything in those passes. And then I can go delete some stuff. So, like now I can delete that. Now I can, I thought I changed that. That's good. That's good. I think both of these we're doing mouth stuff, so I'll delete those. Mouth, delete those. Chamfers, good. Now I need to chamfer this like a civilized person would. If you didn't see my chamfer video, go check it out. I'm going to do a 2D chamfer. I want a smaller chamfer than this 3/8 because I want to get as close as I can to that. I'm going to go grab my own from my personal library. I want to get as close to that wall, those adjacent walls as possible. So I like to use this little 3/16 so I can get pretty close to stuff here. Go there, hit OK. It works like magic. If you didn't see my chamfer video, that's me telling you to go do that. Unless you know how to do this, great. And then go do that. And then don't. But we've got a 2 thou clearance. 2 thou. This is a bad one, but you can see there's a really small clearance between there and the wall. I'll turn the stock off. I don't know, man. I just want people to make rad parts. There you go. There's a tiny little clearance between the wall. That's all explained on my chamfer video. So first op's done. Looks good. Second op, I should have generated these while we were yapping. I suspect the second op's going to be pretty good. There might be some height, the height that we want to change, right? So we have finish. I bet you I want to change something on this adaptive. Yeah, I don't need to go down that far, right? Edit. How far do I need to go? Really don't need to go any farther than that, right? So let's just select it. I could do something more smarter, but let's just do that. Generate this. I don't need that. I don't need that. I probably, I don't know. I think this is freaking rad. We're getting closer and closer and closer to delivering on this dream that we have with Toolpath, automating your toolpaths. I'm freaking excited about it. We're getting pretty close to being pretty stoked for people to be using it on the daily. We have a lot of customers using it now to kind of speed up their process, but I think there's going to be a day that's like you spend very little time even thinking about parts like this. So that's that, man. I guess we would do that blind chamfer again, right? So we're going to grab this. Oh, there it is right there. We'll grab that little edge, hit OK. We're done. It's, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes. I don't know how long we're going to have into this, but that's the basics, man. Since I've got your attention, this drives me nuts. I'm pretty picky about my home position. I like my home positions to be like this for the view, so I come up here and set my view. I do that. I would do the same thing here. Does that copy? Nah, let me see. What happens when I go there? Yeah, what that really works for is in the design space, right? So I like to see my first op like this. And this is also what decides how it saves over here, right? So watch this. I'll set current, set to view. Now when you save it, that's what decides the view that it saves in your preview over there. That's the Toolpath to Fusion workflow through the plugin or add-in. Use it, break it, give us feedback. If you like something you saw, let me know in the comments. If you're annoyed by me, let me know in the comments. I'll have someone else make these videos. No, but seriously, give us some comments about what you want to see next. If the assembly workflow, if you want to learn how to assemble vices, self-centered vices, whatnot, or start using some zero-point work holding, that's what I have out in my shop. Is I use kind of a whole combination of different zero-point-ish kind of workflows. Super productive. I think I'm just talking to talk. So happy Monday night. Get after it. Have a great week. We'll talk to you guys soon. Cheers.